What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Creators Cut. Today, we're taking a look at Gaz Oakley. And before we start, I do want to preface that he worked with a small team. I think for this specific video, it's just him and his shooter, Tom Kong. So shout out to Tom. And I want to start covering creators like this, anywhere from like solo creators to creators that work within a small production team, because I feel like that's the natural progression of creating videos or films. That, after you shoot solo, you might grab a couple friends, family to help you shoot, and it always helps to get fresh eyes and just that, man the camera. So we're gonna get into it. I appreciate you guys signing up for the newsletter, which it's been steadily growing, and I cover things like just short films, tutorials from other creators, and just kind of highlighting creators within the cinematic universe. That's what you want to call it. So let's get to it. So this video is called "This Guy's Tiny City Garden Shamed My Homestead."
Food for me has always been the vehicle of bringing people together, and I was so excited to have the one and only Alessandro's spicy mustache visit.
The thing about the intro that really gets to me is him showcasing the guy that the video is about. It's cool that, you see him here and it kind of highlights him doing things together. Even just to play on wardrobe, the tones are all neutral. And I don't know if that is something that they think about prior to shooting, where it's like, hey man, don't wear any bright blue colors or anything that's like too outside of this neutral tone. You'd be surprised because that attention to detail for some people, it's that specific, and it does look good. Like, you know what I mean? If imagine he was wearing a bright yellow hat, or maybe that's just not what they're going for, or maybe you do something in color correction to like fix that a little bit. And honestly, it might not even be a thing. I think just off the top of my head, that's what I was thinking about because of how well produced the video is.
Excited to have the one and only Alessandro's spicy mustache visit my home country of Wales. I actually cannot believe he's going to be here. As someone who I've been watching on social media for ages now, he's actually blown up and creates some really amazing content, whether that's just gardening stuff, cooking stuff, medicinal remedies.
Going back to the intro, just how they put it together. He is talking about how he can't believe, he got this guy and, he's doing something with him. But this is the second part of this like hook or intro, I would say. The first part, they decided to mash up, these clips of him and Spicy Mustache, that's his name, and, highlight him first there. So it's really cool to see how creators put things together. Another way that this could have been done is, and maybe not as effective, is if this driving shot was first.
Actually cannot believe he's going to be here. As someone who I've been watching on social media for ages now, he's
So
actually
him talking about him here and then maybe layering the initial B-roll clips on top. So it's one of those things where in editing, you almost, try to feel it out and see what flows well.
so nice to see you in the flesh.
Finally, man.
Welcome to the garden. Before we go and have a little tour, I've got a Welsh delicacy to show you. These are Welsh cakes. It can be described like a mixture between a scone and a pancake, but it
Nice.
has the most
So he has two different shots where one is the top down and then another angle on the
It
side.
can be described like a mixture between a scone and a pancake, but it has the most unique, nostalgic flavor for me. It feels like a hug from my nan. Now, the Welsh cake recipe is so
I like this shot. Feels like it's a little further out and then zoomed in with the lens.
Now, the Welsh cake recipe is so simple. Just into a mixing bowl, I'm added some all-purpose flour along with some baking powder to help these Welsh cakes rise. And
I think going with the whole natural lighting works so well, especially with how warm the video looks in terms of color grading, what they're wearing, and just the overall nature of the video.
then one of the most important ingredients, mixed spice. Now, my mixed spice just consists of things like cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice. I'll add a pinch of salt plus some sugar for sweetness. And as a very unique addition, I'm going to add some of my...
The amount of shots, it is close-ups of ingredients. It's, shots like this, which are, say, medium close-ups. You have the extreme close-ups, dropping the sugar. So much variety of shots in this. I'm just thinking of how long it takes, especially if it's only one camera or one camera person, the setup and, having to do this like, okay, I'm going to do this next. Let me capture that. I'm gonna do this next. Okay, cool. Can I get a close up of you doing that? There's so much that thought that goes into it.
They're golden, toss them in some sugar and serve up. Ali, come on in. I've got to show you this Welsh speciality. This is a Welsh cake and you can't come to Wales without one. And it's just ironic that it's raining.
So when you have guests on show or in your videos and you have a camera crew or even just one other person maybe doing audio or camera, it's hard to schedule. Scheduling gets tough. It's a lot different. But you also want to be professional and you don't want your guests to be waiting around. So this was interesting to me because he did this whole thing of creating, prepping the food, which I feel like wouldn't be that fast. And, I still feel like it would be a half an hour, maybe an hour. So I'm always wondering, like, where was the guest? And then doing this a little bit where obviously Ali was here off screen, but he recorded this part and then he kind of came on screen as if it was like a show. It's just so smooth that you don't really notice. But in my head, I'm thinking, man, the prep work, even coming up with the concepts like, hey, I'm gonna do my little bit, I'm gonna do the intro, then I'm gonna ask you to come on and then you walk in. Even though the audience saw you already, is like another dynamic to these videos, which is not even a video, it just feels like a little show or segment.
It tastes great. I love it.
Thank
I love
you.
the cinnamon.
That's very nostalgic for me.
Feels like home for you, right?
You see them eat it, they get a close up of it, and then another angle here. So now that I'm looking at it, this looks like it's 2 bites, right? So it does feel like there's only one camera person, and after they take a bite, it's like, they keep eating, they talk. It's like, "Hey, guys, let me just get a shot off to the side, another angle. Maybe it's a little wider." Boom, and then it just feels so seamless when you are
Flavor.
watching it, right? From that cut to this cut.
Imagine a nice cup of tea with this, just hearty and home food for me. This is
So good.
Thank you.
Even that shot, I think those were 2 different shots, just the angle of how they were eating it, which is a weird thing that I'm taking a look at. But in terms of production, when you guys are on set and trying to figure out how to get more angles, it is a lot of repetitiveness. "Hey, guys, can you eat another one? Can you do this? Can you do this?" Because the
So
way
good.
that
Thank you.
the angle at which they ate it, a little bit more down. This one's the second one. And I don't know if it was a plan for it's like, okay, guys, eat at the same time on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. You'd be surprised how effective that is when you are actually staging a lot of the stuff. I think that's why shows really look like shows as opposed to when people are making them on, YouTube or just YouTube style content.
Down to London, to your garden. So let's head. Let's go. Well, I'm a bit dishevelled, but we've made it to London in one piece, just about. And I'm about to see Spicy Moustache's famous urban garden. And if this garden doesn't make you enthusiastic about growing food, then I don't know what will.
Instead of just doing a regular static intro or even a voiceover, he did a walking scene, which is cool, right into this.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
How you doing, man?
Lovely to see you again.
Well,
This
me too,
is
man.
incredible. The famous garden.
Hmm.
Welcome to my...
It feels like this could be 2 different camera people, but to me, it feels like there's one and they've just been going in and then coming out and getting multiple shots, which the craziness of that, because I know how that feels, it's a lot of work. You know, getting this wide shot and then going inside, and just cutting back and forth from it.
This
too,
is
man.
incredible. The famous garden.
Welcome to my small garden. Yeah.
Melons. Are they ready to harvest now?
Yeah, they are. They
Can we
are.
pick them?
Can pick one,
Oh,
100%.
go on in.
How to tell if they're ready?
Yeah,
One of the tricks is to go by nose.
right.
So you lift up the melon.
I love how they get close up still to really emphasize what he's saying or just make it more interesting. I'm always thinking, how did they do that? Like, what do you say? How does it all produce? And I feel like you always have to have kind of an ear, especially if you are producing it, or even if you're the camera person and you're shooting, let's say even for a client, and you're shooting something and then you hear that, like, how we can tell, you want to smell it. So it's like, okay, cool. After they're done talking, hey, is it cool if we get a couple shots Let me do a couple close-ups of this. Let me get you grabbing it, taking a look at it, and then smelling it. And you know in your head that that's the B-roll you're gonna use. So a lot of thinking while you're shooting and listening. It's like very active, you know?
So welcome to my East London corner of nature.
Yeah.
I love the traveling shots. It's cool that they're going from one place to another place.
So
Doing
welcome
this.
to my East London corner of nature.
But I was talking about wardrobe earlier, and I just realized like the shirt's changed. You know what I mean? Look,
So welcome to my
he's wearing a dark
East
gray
London.
and then completely different. I think when I was doing my first pass through, I didn't really notice, but now I notice. I'm like, huh. I don't know if that is a creative decision, but I think it does look better. Stands out a little bit more.
Fun about allotments, just there's each little area, different personalities you can tell, or
Yeah.
cultures, each one has something different about it.
There is a
Yours-
sort of story behind each one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We
yours-
got this like last August.
Another walking shot. You know, they were carrying a bunch of stuff. Probably put it down, did this. They're like, okay, you know, we're gonna walk down here to your little garden area. We're gonna talk about whatever. Then we're gonna make a hard left in and then continue. But everything is set up. Like this is cool on a whole other level. I love it. I love it.
To so much fresh produce.
And-
You can
I just realized, like, I know it was a little noisy and grainy. Thought maybe it's because they shot at a higher ISO, but I think that there is like a film leak on there or a film grain on there. Like looking closely, it's just like you see like little touches of white, and it's cool because it's so subtle.
during the course of a year. But
Yeah.
obviously, coming to the end of the growing season now, so I know you were saying that this isn't as perfect as it's ever looked, but still to me,
Audio is so crisp. I don't know what mics they're using. I'm trying to figure out if, you know, I thought it was wireless mics. Thought I saw a wireless mic on the back of another shot, but just talking about audio, maybe not specifically this. You could get crisp audio like this without the lav. You know, you would need a really good boom mic. You need an actual audio person to really know what they're doing and doing all that kind of stuff. Or there is another way where you could get the two wireless lav mics and you string it up. But yeah, I was looking, I was like, I can't see, you know, anything clipped on. What you could do is take the lav mic and tape it to the inside here, the chest, and then just listen for it, make sure it's not rubbing. Sometimes I take off the, you know, the windsock or the windscreen just so this part isn't rubbing up against the shirt. And if they're not moving too much, if they're kind of standing, it will sound pretty crisp. So if you guys are looking to get a clean shot like this in terms of audio and you guys have lav mics or wireless lav mics, think about that.
I said I'm going to keep this simple, but actually, we
Okay.
might as well use this.
So talking about production, like just this whole thing, the ideation, the planning, to think to bring a burner and chairs. Like I don't know if this stuff was all there. You know, the planning of this is cool. It's like, what's a good location? Hey, can we take these two chairs? Can we make something? Do we need to bring anything? This makes it interesting. This is way cooler than if they grabbed all the ingredients
Really?
and took it back home and did this. This feels really cool to do.
That sounds amazing.
Wow, that corn tastes so good already, so you don't need to do much, but
Looks amazing.
just enhancing it with your
I really
lovely
hope
herb.
that the camera guy gets a little bit of something because this whole video, they've been eating like, oh, can I try that? Can I try that? If I was a camera guy, I'd be like, can I have some, please? So shout out to all the camera people that shoot food stuff and don't get to eat.
Mm.
If you guys like this content, please like and subscribe. If you guys liked Gaz's content, go over, show him some love, follow him. And if you guys did enjoy this video, I think you guys will enjoy this next. Take it easy. Peace.